Hi, this is David Heller with MCAD Cafe, and I'm speaking with Jay Lovelady. And Jay is the Engineering Systems Administrator at Quanex Building Products in the Rice Lake, Wisconsin facility. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good. How are you, David?
I'm doing great, great, Jay. The reason we're talking is because I understand that you went through an experience. You've gone through kind of a 3-year experience, starting with no document management or control system, to the point now where you have one in place. And I just wanted to, go through some of the history. What problems you were facing, like about 3 years ago, that you wanted to solve.
Well, when I first started working for this company 7 years ago, we had no control of anything, so to speak. We managed everything through the Windows Explorer. All our CAD data was kept in folders here and there. Our ECO process, deviations, all of that, they were all hand carried. Things would get lost. We had over 6,500 different folders out on the network.
Oh my God.
That we were trying to keep track of and sort through. And it was getting, as we grew and developed more and more products, it was getting extremely hard to maintain all of this. We kept the supposedly good copies in protected folders, but to work on them, you'd go copy that out, and it got to a point where we had no idea who had what copy of what and how many were out there and who was working on what anymore, and it was just not good.
So what kind of documents are we talking about?
We're talking about CAD files, SolidWorks, Inventor files. That's our two primary CAD systems that we deal with. Some AutoCAD, some old legacy AutoCAD, but like the ECOs, they were done in an Access database over in one area, and deviations were in another area, and it was just not good at all.
I understand also that Quanex has multiple plants throughout the world, and that this at the time, you figure maybe this is going to be distributed out.
That did cross our mind. Our engineering products group, which the Rice Lake facility is part of, we have 7 facilities across the United States. So we kind of figured if we got the right thing and it was working right, that we would be able to push out to the other facilities. And we were running in tandem a lot of things. We work with the other facilities, obviously, but it was difficult because of working through the network. We all couldn't get to the same folders and everything. So that was something that we needed to fix too, so that we could work in collaboration with the other facilities.
To get you started, did Synergis bring in some people and hold your hand for a while to teach you how to take advantage of what their tool does?
Yeah, they did. Sometimes they still hold my hand. Yeah, when we sent the purchase order, it included on-site training. They sent a gentleman here for a week. He helped us get started. He set up the server for us, got us started, looked at what we had, and even before that, we sent our folder structure to them so they could look at how we were doing things in the past and kind of map for us what they saw as how we should go about moving into the system. So he was here for a week. There was 3 of us that were admins for the system that spent an intense week with him. Then he left us with a list of things to accomplish. We did our work, and it was work in the beginning. I'm not going to tell anybody it wasn't, going from one lifestyle to another. Then he came back, looked at what we had done. They did a go live. He trained all of our people that would be in the system. He had training with them sessions, and here we are today.
Yeah. So with the Adept Synergis Adept document management system, what kind of benefits are you seeing now?
Oh yeah, that's a huge list. right away, like in the, one of the things we were looking at in the beginning, of course, was all the ECO process and the hand carries, how slow and cumbersome that was and things getting lost. That's now in Adept with the workflows that are available that we can set up. We set up that based on our ISO documentation from before. Took all that hand carry, it's all now electronic, the system does it, you sign off and hit approve and away it goes to the next person. We always know where it's at. It keeps track of where it's at, who's looking at it, who's done their work, who hasn't.
Wow.
It's like built-in accountability too.
Yeah, it sounds actually easy to use compared to what
It
you were
is.
doing
It's
before.
very easy, which was a consideration. It was right out of the box, easy setup. Well, okay, that's not necessarily right. It's easy to set up, but the work there was a lot of work to it. But there was not. We have done no custom coding at all for it. We've used it right out of the box, and while we do push the system probably to its limits more than a lot of people do, so far we've been able to figure out everything that we've wanted to do.
So, circling back to when I first mentioned ISO 9000, how's Adept helping you with that situation to meet and be compliant with ISO 9000?
Again, part of ISO is your document control. We had stuff in notebooks here, there, and everywhere. Now everything is in the system. It's all controlled. There's workflows. Like I said before, with that, we have the accountability trail. The auditor can come in. They come in once a year. They can look at any document, and they know what's been done with it, where it's at. And that's all part of that.
Oh, okay. That's super. And is there a way in Adept that you can have like a secure, like an eyes only or a password required entry, so that like personnel records and things like that can be accessed only by certain people, or do they have that built into their?
Yes, they do. It's all in the permissions. When you set it up, you set up your vaults and your libraries, and what we've done to make it easy to control, you set up various groups and you put the people in the group, and then per library it's a matter of what group you put in the library and what permissions you give them. If you don't put a group in a library, they have no idea it's there. Wow. So we have some libraries that only a single department can see, such as human resources.
Right.
They have a library that nobody else can see.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that this can be accessed from anywhere in the world?
Yes.
So
yeah, we have just recently started finally moving out to our other facilities. Right now we have 4 of the 7 facilities. We have 5 of the 7 facilities hooked in. 4 of them are now using it. Not to the extent we are in Rice Lake, but they'll get there. That's been awesome because now we can work. In fact, just before I started talking to you, I was in a meeting. We're working with the engineers in Chatsworth, Illinois, and we're all seeing the same drawing and working on the exact same files.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds really revolutionary. I mean, it's like night and day, right? Compared to where you were and to where you are today, and it probably does. Probably affects the bottom line. I mean, in the whole company as far as.
Yeah, we noticed. I don't have my papers. I probably could have looked that up for you, but it made a lot of difference in our throughput time, our ECOs, our products are faster through now. Reusing models and files is easy now because we can take them, we can copy them, and instantly go a different direction with them. If we've had a CAD file in, that's every time a file is signed in, the system keeps a version of that file. So if we have one with 10 versions and all of a sudden you think, God, if I'd have thought about that a month ago, you can go back and grab that version from a month ago and go a different direction with it without affecting your other product.
Wow. And how easy it is to, suppose I wanted to find a CAD drawing uh, and I'm on the system, what would I do? How easy it is to find a specific drawing, for example?
It's very easy. There's a multitude of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can search. If you know the file name, you can search and it'll put it in there and it'll bring it right up. Each file has a library card that has information about it. If you know a word off of that library card, you can search for that word,
Mm-hmm.
to bring up all files with that word, and then you can keep searching within that search and narrow it down. So it's very easy to find stuff.
Yeah, this is another, just curiosity. So this is also implemented on the manufacturing floor as well?
In a manner of speaking, yeah. What we've done, there's a program that works with Adept that Synergis sells called PublishWave.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do when we sign files into certain libraries, Adept will send the file to PublishWave, which then we have that set up. It will push out a PDF into a vault, and then we built a spreadsheet that everybody on the floor has access to that immediately gets those PDFs. As soon as Adept approves it, within a minute, the file is accessible on the floor as the new version.
Wow.
So they never see an old version on the floor. There's no chance of mix-up there anymore.
Yeah, that's going to really help productivity, or really probably has already.
Yeah, and with that, what that did too, we used to have a process. I had mentioned all the notebooks we had out and around. Each department had multiple notebooks with all the drawings in them, and now that they can access the drawing list, they no longer, our engineering coordinator no longer has to send all these copies of all these prints to the floor, and nobody has to go to all these notebooks and change out the prints anymore. That's all erased.
Wow.
So that was good too.
You know, Jay, you're the expert now, I suppose, at Quanex for document management, this document management system.
Well, there's a couple of us, but
yeah. So do you? I guess, like you said, today you were having a discussion with some other people about it in your company, and do you help the other divisions? So you're helping the other divisions get up and running?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Anyways, is there anything else you'd like to add, or to wrap it up?
Yeah, probably. I could probably talk about this all afternoon if you wanted. I would just say that anybody that's considering doing something like this, they should definitely call Synergis. I mentioned we looked at several different ones, and I talked to a lot of people to get to this point, and this is by far and away the best of anything that we looked at.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to tell you it's made a fantastic difference for our company and the things that we can do with it and where we're going to push it in the future.
Wow. Hey Jay, I really appreciate everything that we've talked about and the time you spent with me. And have a great day.
You too. Thank you, David.
Okay, thank you.